The Quest Pro has been out just long enough that we're finally starting to see some comfort accessories for all the people who said it was uncomfortable. Let's see what this one does. 20 bucks gets you 2 pads, but 1 shell. For all the people who had said the forehead pad is too small, it pushes into their forehead too much, this is ideally for those people. It says it just snaps right in. Pull the stock one out. We're gonna take a little look at this one. So that advertises it's basically just wider to give you more area for that to sit on your forehead. Looks like it should snap back in place. Immediately, one thing that's turning me off though, something I really like about the Quest Pro, is this does not absorb sweat at all. This is like, not just water resistant, this is like waterproof. This is a velvety pad. This thing's gonna hold sweat like yuck. But this is about comfort, it's not about sweat. Boy, it didn't go in with the usual snaps that you get with the other one, but it seems like it went right in. You can see there a lot more surface area creeping up the top. This velvety softness though, I don't know if that's gonna give me any more security. What they have here, it is a small pad and it's been an issue for a lot of people, but it's rubbery, so it does a pretty good job of hanging onto your skin. This, surprisingly for being cloth, I mean, you can see the thing bounces all around. It always does that. But I will say, like, for being this soft velvet, I really thought it would jump off my head a little easier. And it's not really doing it any worse than the original, I'd say. I'm not in love with it. It's not any worse than the stock head pad, but I don't know that I'd say it's any better. Let's see what this other pad it has does. Because they advertise that these are 2 different types of pads. So I'm assuming this is just gonna Velcro off of here. So basically it's just 2 different types of material. They're both still gonna be sweat absorbing foam, but one is a little slicker, a little shinier, the other's a little rougher. Almost feels like a magic eraser, which kind of worries me. That's not gonna feel great on the skin, but let's try it out. Now maybe for my slipping worries, this pad will be better. Okay, that one, you definitely feel that hold onto your skin. There's a lot of space right here. I can get my fingers in and feel that pad. I don't know what the stock pad did a lot better there. The stock pad for me, unlike everyone else, I have this like forehead ridge and it fit me like perfectly. Like everyone else says this thing's terrible, but for me, that thing is like, it just stays right when it's on my forehead. So I don't have as much of the discomfort issues with the Quest Pro as other people. One weird trick I'll show you here with the Quest Pro, the lenses can get closer and further to your eyes. Everybody knows that with the Switch. But one thing people don't realize is it actually changes the shape of the forehead pad depending on how tight you have it. Because what's happening is these outer arms are getting pulled on, and so it's gonna pull those inner out, which can actually make it worse for comfort too. So I don't know. They said to make this really comfortable for a lot of people. It's just weird how much I'm noticing now that I have more forehead touching pad, it's weird how much I'm noticing that the sides aren't touching at all. I feel like it should be having some sort of padding in here to help disperse a little bit more of that weight. I gotta spend some time in games and see what I can see, so I will come back. So my fear of sweat getting absorbed immediately was correct. Either of these pads like sweat. The pad that I said would hang on better, I found I really hated the way it felt on my skin. It feels a lot like the stock pad on the Quest 2 that got recalled over time. It really feels like a magic eraser. I don't know any other way to describe it. It feels like something you would wet sand something with almost. That's how gritty it feels. The other pad's all right. It was a little more slippery, like I said. It was pretty good. It was like old school VR pads that absorbed all your sweat, but at least it kept it out of your eyebrows, or out of your eyes. If you use this one, you know what I mean. Like this doesn't take any sweat, so you're immediately dripping into your eyes. You kind of want to wear a headband with it. At 20 bucks, I'm not gonna continue using this. But I'm not someone who has a serious problem with the original head pad. As I was saying, it really fits on my head pretty well. So if you are someone who has a Quest Pro and you're like, oh, I really think a little extra width would help, it might be worth a shot for you. Make sure you get it at Amazon, free returns. The problem I found is, yes, they made it wider, but they made it wider on top, which isn't really where I feel like I want more. I want it to be a little lower and so it feels like the whole thing's holding onto my head better, because currently I have this other pad that I installed to help hang on better. The Quest kind of hangs on under here, but not super well. And then when you have the stock pad, it's up high, so it always kind of feels like it wants to come off your head too easily, in my opinion. So I feel like if that pad went a little lower in the front, I'd get a little bit more stability, because instead of like feeling it's up here and back here, at least it would kind of actually hang on to my head. And this doesn't give me any more security in that way. The only thing this would do is make you a little more comfortable maybe, but I don't think it would make you feel any more secure than you do with the stock one. So I'm not gonna use it, but I'll leave a link just in case you're someone out there, you're like, hey, I really think that little bit of width might make the difference for me. It's 20 bucks, so it's not staying on my quest. This weird thing that I put on here is, and these things. Finding all the accessories except the one I really want, which is a better forehead pad. But what do you think? I'd love to hear in the comments if you're finding, I know the Quest Pro went on sale, a couple people got some, so what do you think? Is it comfortable for you? Do you need something different with it? I'd love to know. But thanks for coming out, and I'll see you in another reality.